Hello and welcome to SaltWire today for Monday, February 6th. I'm your host, Kate Walker. The William Sanderson trial resumed today in Dartmouth Court, where he took the stand in his own trial and confessed to shooting Taylor Sampson and revealed where he dumped his dead body. Sanderson's lawyer, Alison Craig, first told the jury this morning that he was acting in self-defense when he shot and killed fellow Dalhousie student Taylor Sampson during a drug deal. Sanderson took the stand and told the jury that after Sampson tried to get a hold of his handgun for the second time, he fired once in what he called self-defense. After killing Sampson, Sanderson said he didn't know where to discard the body and put Sampson in a duffel bag and began driving. He says he bought a drink and poured it over Sampson's phone and left it in a gas station garbage can. Sanderson says he pulled into a carpool parking lot near Truro and carried Sampson's body up onto a dike and put his body covered in garbage bags in the Bay of Fundy. He also confessed to bringing some of the evidence to his family's farm in Truro. This is Sanderson's second trial on the first-degree murder charge. The verdict from the first trial in 2017 was overturned by the Nova Scotia Court of Appeal in 2020. A bitterly cold and windy weekend across Nova Scotia left many with flooding from frozen pipes as well as no power. As of Saturday morning, over 22,000 households were off the grid as dangerously cold winds blasted the province. Today, Caledonia Junior High is one of 3 schools in the Halifax Regional Centre for Education closed to allow for cleanup after flooding. Portland Estates Elementary and Upper Muscadawbit Consolidated were also closed. The wind chill at the Halifax Stanfield International Airport got as low as -43, an all-time record. The fire department went to the Holiday Inn Express nearby on Sunday afternoon because of smoke in the electrical room caused by water in the electrical components. It was a similar situation at the Cineplex Theatre in Bears Lake with damage to the ceiling. Nova Scotia Power said high winds all day Saturday broke trees and branches that fell on power lines, and extreme cold temperatures overloaded electrical equipment in specific areas, both of which caused the outages. They said they haven't seen conditions this extreme in almost 20 years. Over 300 people were in the field to restore power to customers affected by the extreme conditions. Nova Scotia Health Authority had 13 waterline breaks at 10 different facilities, resulting in various levels of damage over the weekend. Police are investigating a suspicious death in Dartmouth over the weekend. Just before 11:30 Saturday night, police say they were called to a shooting on Leahy Road. Officers found a 36-year-old man outside the home who had been shot. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators don't believe this was a random act. Today, police say the Nova Scotia Medical Examiner Service is conducting an autopsy. There's no word on any suspects. Cape Breton University and its Faculty Association have reached a tentative agreement, ending a week-long strike. According to a news release issued by the university yesterday afternoon, the agreement, quote, paves the way for the return to classes for CBU students and comes after one full week of discussions led by the Provincial Conciliation Services Division. For both sides, that means parties have agreed to the terms of a collective agreement. Faculty Association members hit the picket line, striking mainly over what they call a lack of respect from CBU's administration and roadblocks in seeking pay raises in line with the current cost of living. As well, the union representing these members is urging for adjustments in how CBU handles an influx of international students coming in to study. The release says details of the agreement will be announced once ratified. The university says a ratification vote is expected to happen quickly and that an announcement will be made before classes resume. The latest collective bargaining agreement expired on October 31st, 2021. It's time now for a glimpse of today's Thinking Out Loud with Sheldon MacLeod. Today, Sheldon is speaking with Juanita Peters of the Africville Museum about African Heritage Month.
And what does February mean for the Africville Museum? How are there different programs or are there different displays? Just curious about that.
Well, first of all, if you drive across the bridge at night, you'll see that we're all lit up for African Heritage Month in African Heritage Month colors. So that's the first thing. And we collaborate with a number of different organizations on a number of different events, not just talking about the Africville story, but about important aspects of African Nova Scotian culture, history, music, arts, everything.
And for Sheldon's full conversation, head to the opinion section of SaltWire.com. Time now for the Atlantic Sports Wire, presented by Scott Squires.
Today, we've got a few questions with Mitch Hannigan, the head coach of Mi'kmaq Warriors Junior Lacrosse. What was your welcome to lacrosse moment?
The first time I got hit in the cup with a lacrosse ball.
What's your game day meal and why?
Steak and potatoes. I'm a creature of habit. I know it's not going to hurt my guts. I know it's going to give me the fuel that I need for the game.
How do you like your steak cooked, and what kind of steak?
Medium rare, and I'll take anything.
If you weren't a lacrosse player and now a lacrosse coach, what would have been your sport of choice and why?
I love combat sports. I love like American wrestling. I would probably say jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
If you could sit down and have a meal and an evening of conversation with anyone, either currently with us or passed on, who would it be and what would you want to talk about?
Wow. I would have to say maybe I'll keep it light. I'll go with Bob Watson, who is a former goalie of the Toronto Rock, who was a big inspiration to me as a young lacrosse player.
What's the biggest impact that lacrosse has had on your life?
I really took notice when I looked at my wedding party and looked at pictures of my happiest moments, and they are surrounded by people I also played lacrosse with. So I think that's the most beautiful thing about it is that the bonds you make and the lasting bonds you make.
If you were stranded on a desert island and you could only listen to one song and watch one movie or show, what's the song and what's the movie or show?
Son to Me by Zach Bryan, and the movie would probably be War on the Floor. That was the lacrosse equivalent to Rock'em Sock'em from Don Cherry. So,
in Halifax, I'm Scott Squires for the Atlantic Sports Wire.
Thank you, Scott. On to weather now to see what's coming up in the forecast. We're going to check in now with our weather specialist, ALLISTER.
Well, what a weekend that was, Kate. We broke daily temperature records Friday night into Saturday as temperatures dipped down into the -20s. And with a peak wind chill of -43, we broke the all-time wind chill record at Halifax Stanfield. But in true Nova Scotia fashion, temperatures were back above freezing yesterday and today, and temperatures will continue to fluctuate this week. We do have a storm developing offshore, but it won't have an impact on us directly. It'll bring some northeast winds, though, of 30 to 50 kilometers per hour this evening, with gusts up to 70 along the coast, and otherwise cloudy skies, with the temperature falling down to about -4, and we wake up near -6 on Tuesday morning with cloudy skies, but clearing to sunshine into the afternoon, with a high temperature of -2 inland, but closer to the freezing mark along the coast. We have another weak disturbance that moves in on Wednesday with cloud cover, chance of showers and flurries, but nothing significant until Friday or Saturday right now. Kate.
Thank you, ALLISTER. That's all for now. For more extended video and full online articles, stay tuned to SaltWire.com. And you can find us on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm your host, Kate Walker. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.